Okay. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is we're going to look at configuring Replicator. And I also have another video for this. But what are the steps of configuring Replicator? You have to enable replication for each web application, and that means on every farm. So the first step is you have to basically flip the switch to say, okay, we're going to let this web application replicate. Doesn't mean it's going to do anything yet. It's just on and ready to go. Okay. Then you have to connect those web applications together. And this is where you create connections between the farms, which gives you the chance to put in the authorization, like the username, password, and domain of the site collection admin for the destination farm that you're working with, and then save that. So each of the farms has to have a connection pointing to each other. You're only allowed to actually enter one. So even if you're replicating 40 site collections in your web application, you only ever have to define this connection between the farms once. Okay. And then you're going to map SharePoint content for replication. So at that point, you're really just, this is actually the point where you're going to tell Replicator what you want to replicate. The first two steps are really just telling Replicator, okay, you are now enabled. Now you have to actually do the configuration so that we know what you want to replicate. Okay. So what we will do is we are going to do another quick demo. And give me one moment, I'm going to bring this up. So to configure Replicator, first thing that you do is you're going to go to Central Admin, you're going to go to Application Management, and you're going to find the Replicator options. And then you're going to click on Configure Web Application. And all we're going to show here today is how you turn this web application on for replication. So you basically click yes under Enable Replication for this web application, and you click OK. And you do that on all of your farms that you're going to be replicating with. So once you're completed, you come back to the application management screen, and you make sure that you do this on all farms. Very important. The next step is you define the connection that we were talking about. The same thing, Central Admin, find the Replicator options, and click on Manage Replication Connection. So this is going to let you define a connection to the farm, to the other farm. So we click Add Connection. You're going to put in a friendly name for that connection. In this case, I'm calling it to extranet. And then you're going to be able to supply the DNS name to that target web application. And then the domain, the username, and the password of a site collection admin for the destination. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit here, and there's a test button. So you're always going to want to try this test after you create a connection just to see if you can actually get to the destination. So once you see succeeded, you can click on OK. I'll bring you back to the connection window. Then you can scroll down and also click on OK. And that's going to save the connection. All right. So that you're going to do the same step again on your target farm. You're going to define a connection pointing back to here. Okay. So we'll go under application management one last time. And now what you're going to do is actually create a map family. And with the map family, like I was telling you, this is the part where you're telling Replicator what to replicate. So same thing, under our Metalogic Replicator options, click on Manage Map Families. And then we're going to add a map family. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to call it extranet. And this, again, is just a friendly name. And the scope that we're going to select is the web application, because I want to replicate everything under this web application. And then I'm going to click on OK. And okay, and once we get to this next screen, it's a two-step process to create a map family. Here you get a chance to actually select the events that you want to listen for. If you click Advanced beside any of these groups, you can actually pick and choose what events that you want Replicator to listen for. Okay, we'll scroll down, and then you also get a chance to select the connections that you want active on that map. If you have more than one connection, you would see a list here. You could uncheck them or check them as you need. And then after that's done, we're just going to click OK, and that creates the map family. Okay. So basically what happens after that point is now Replicator's live. You know, anything, if you go to that destination web app or the target, the source web application, bring up one of the sites and add in a document, Replicator's going to capture that, package it up, and send it across. Okay. And that was, again, very high level. I know we went through it rather quickly, but for the first, for the intro, that's all you want to see. We're going to be going into detail of all of those settings that you saw on the page and what each of them means. All right.